The dust burned his eyes before the sirens did. Eli sprinted down the alley, one arm shielding his face, the other gripping the strap of his rifle that kept slapping against his side. He could hear the dull thunder of artillery in the distance, the kind that rattled teeth even when it missed by kilometers. Overhead, the sky was bruised with smoke, painted in streaks of black and orange like some cruel child had smeared charcoal across a canvas. "Keep moving," his squad leader barked, but Eli was already ahead, breath ragged, boots pounding the broken pavement. His lungs tasted of ash and metal. He hated that taste. It lingered. It clung to the back of the throat like guilt. They reached the husk of an apartment block and slid behind the half-collapsed wall. For a moment, silence returned, the kind of silence that wasn't peace, but pause. The silence of people waiting to hear if they'd lived another minute. Eli pressed his back against the concrete, heartbeat hammering against the vest strapped too tightly to his chest. From somewhere down the street, a child cried. Short, muffled sobs, half swallowed by rubble and smoke. Eli froze. "Do you hear that?" he whispered. The squad leader cursed. "Focus, soldier! Stay sharp! That's how they bait us." But the sound cut through Eli like a knife. It wasn't bait. He knew the difference. He'd grown up in Haifa, where kids played soccer on rooftops until the sirens wailed, where his little sister used to cry in exactly that tone when she lost track of their mother in crowded markets. It wasn't bait. It was someone real. Without waiting for orders, Eli swung his rifle across his back and darted into the smoke-thick street. "Eli, get back here!" The warning followed him, but he didn't turn. He ducked under hanging wires, leapt over a cracked water pipe spewing mud, and followed the sound deeper into the ruins. Each step crunched glass and mortar, each step heavier with the weight of what he might find. The crying grew louder near the shell of a grocery shop. The sign was scorched, letters melted into black scars. He pushed inside, gun raised, heart pounding. In the far corner, behind an overturned shelf, a girl, no older than 8, huddled, clutching a doll whose dress was stiff with soot. Her cheeks were streaked with ash and tears. She looked up at him with wide, trembling eyes. Eli lowered his weapon slowly. "Shh," he said, his voice barely audible over the ringing in his ears. He crouched, extending a hand. "It's okay. I won't hurt you." The girl didn't move. Her lips formed a single word, Arabic. He caught fragments. Mama, Baba. He didn't know what to say. Words felt brittle, useless things, so he reached for the doll instead, brushing dust off its fabric, and offered it back to her. After a long second, she took it, clutching it tight, and then, carefully, she slipped her small hand into his. And that's when the floor shook. A blast ripped through the street outside, sending a rain of plaster and glass from above. Eli threw his body over the girl, shielding her as the ceiling groaned and buckled. The roar was deafening. Dust swallowed everything. For a heartbeat, he thought the building would collapse entirely. But it held. Barely. When the rumble subsided, Eli pulled himself up, coughing hard. His squad leader's voice crackled over the radio, thick with fury and fear. "Eli, answer! Where the hell are you?" He glanced at the child, still clutching his sleeve. He couldn't tell them. Not yet. They wouldn't understand. To them she was collateral, another casualty, in a war that was already drowning in them. But to him, in that moment, she was the only thing that mattered. "I'm fine," he said into the mic, voice steady. "Got pinned for a second, rejoining you now." He clicked it off before they could question further. Outside, the war thundered on. Sirens, drones, gunfire carving the sky. Eli tightened the straps of his vest, hoisted the girl onto his back, and started moving towards the safer ruins, away from the killing lanes. Each step felt heavier than the last, but there was a strange calm inside him now, like something had shifted. The war had turned everyone into numbers, reports, and maps. But holding her, feeling her heartbeat against his neck, reminded him there was still something fragile, worth saving. And as he moved, a single thought seared through the haze of exhaustion and fear. If war had made monsters of men, then maybe the smallest act of defiance was to choose not to be one.